You've probably heard the usual IUL pitch: tax-free growth, easy access to your money, and protection from market losses. But here's the thing: most agents talk about what it is, not actually how to design it right. And if the design is wrong, you may not be able to enjoy all these benefits. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to properly structure an IUL policy so that it works for you. But before we dive in, I want to make sure that we are on the same page about what an IUL actually is. An index investor life insurance is a type of permanent life insurance. It has the death benefit, which is the life insurance side, but it also has a cash value account, which is able to grow over time. You are able to access this money through loans or withdrawal, and it is linked to the performance of a market index while being still protected from market losses. So it all starts when you make a premium payment to the insurance company. When they receive this payment, they are going to deduct any expenses associated with the policy. Whatever money is left over becomes part of your cash value. This is important, and that's why we need to make sure that we are minimizing the expenses as much as possible so that more of your money is going to be available in the cash value. This is why design matters. So when you have the money in the cash value, it can go to one of two places. We have the fixed account. Here, the insurance company sets a fixed interest rate, let's say 5%. So depending on the amount of money you have in your cash value, they are going to credit you. So let's assume you have $10,000 in cash value and the fixed interest rate is 5%. You know for sure at the end of the year, you are going to get a $500 credit. It's simple and straightforward. Now, the other option is the index account. Now, this is more popular. This is what you hear people talk a lot about. Here, we don't have a fixed interest rate. It's going to be based on the performance of a market index. So if the market performs well, then you get credited more. If there's a market crash, you do not lose any money based on whatever is happening in the market. Think of a market index as a basket of stocks. Common example is S&P 500. It's a basket of the top 500 companies. You probably know of them. Apple, Tesla, McDonald's, all these big companies, they are tracked together as one, and based on how they perform, the insurance company is going to credit your account. Very important detail here is that you are not actually invested in the market, so you do not lose based on whatever is happening in the market. They are only using the index to decide how much to credit your account. All this stuff is very common. You've heard it out there in social media and YouTube and all that. What matters the most for you to enjoy all these benefits is how your policy is set up, which a lot of agents don't talk about, and that's where I really want to focus on. So let's look at that. Assuming that you wanted a $500,000 policy, one agent is going to allocate the full $500,000 to what we call the base insurance. Now, another agent is just going to allocate only $100,000 to the base insurance and fill up the rest with what we call the blended term insurance or supplemental insurance. When you get the all-base design, the internal cost will be high, agent commission is high, and the cash value will be less to start with. If you get the one on the right, the cash value is going to be higher, the cost will be lower, and agent commission will be lower. So very different here. Now, this is the secret. Are you ready? An agent's commission depends on the amount of base insurance used in the design. I'm going to slow down and repeat this again. An agent's commission depends on the amount of base insurance used in the design. So if you get the design on the left, it's going to pay more commission than the one on the right. So if the one on the right pays, let's say $1,000 commission, the one on the left is going to pay $5,000 in commission. Why? Because it uses 5 times the base insurance as the one on the right here. So you can see $100,000 base, and this one uses $500,000 base insurance. So this is the secret that most agents never share. Now, I want to tie it all together in an actual scenario so you see the numbers for yourself. Let's assume a 35-year-old decides he wants to put $15,000 a year into their policy, and we are going to assume 6% growth every year in this design. Maybe you're not considering putting $15,000 into an IUL policy, but the principles I'm going to share with you still matters. Whether you're doing $200 a month, $500 a month, the amount doesn't really matter. The principles still holds true. When it comes to IUL design, there are 3 main designs. The first is what I'm calling the traditional design. It's the worst. I'm using a word for a reason. You do not want to find yourself in this spot. It uses a level death benefit with design with no blended term insurance. Now, you already know the effect of blended term insurance here. The problem with level death benefit design here is that it has a higher death benefit requirement, which means that you will pay more in terms of cost of insurance. In this design, you need $920,000 just to be able to put in $15,000 every year into the policy. Now, the commission for this design, over $16,000. Think about it. You are paying $15,000 a year, but the first year you put in that money, the insurance company is paying out over $16,000, which means cash value doesn't exist, zero in year one. And when we look at the long-term results, you're going to get over $1 million in cash value and $1.27 million in death benefit. Some people look at these numbers and say, well, that's not bad. I'm still going to get over $1 million. See, these are the numbers on paper. When you realize what has happened and that you have put in $30,000 into your policy and you are not able to access any of that money, people give up and stop putting money into the policy and ultimately causing the policy to lapse. So do not let these paper numbers deceive you, right? The expenses, I'm going to show you the actual expenses. The expenses are insane and it's going to eat up your cash value pretty quickly. You do not want to get the traditional design. It's the worst. Okay, enough of this. Let's get to the second design. The second design is what I'm saying. It's okay. If you end up with this, it's not the end of the world. It's fine. You probably will be okay. Now here we are switching from level death benefit to increasing death benefit. This is what you want if your goal is cash value growth. So you can see now the death benefit requirement has dropped drastically. We only need $290,000 to be able to put in $15,000 a year into your policy. But the problem with this design is that we are still not using blended term insurance. And like I've shown you, adding blended term insurance really helps cut down the cost. Commission here is over $5,000 here. So it's dropped from $16,000 to just under $5,000 here. And cash value, now we are seeing some money here, about $2,300 here. Long-term results, $1.2 million in cash value, $1.47 million in death benefit. So you can see that this second design is a huge improvement over the first design. Now let's look at the third design. This is what I'm calling the client optimized. It's the best that an agent can do for a client, right? Here, again, we're using increasing death benefit, but this time we are splitting the $290,000 death benefit into $100,000 base insurance and $190,000 blended term insurance. And the goal of this is to shrink the expenses as much as we could possibly do so that the client gets the most out of this policy. Okay, the commission drops to just $1,800. Can you imagine? We've gone from $16,000 to about $1,800, and the cash value now in year one is over $10,000. And long-term results, we have $1.28 million and $1.56 million. Now, again, people will say, well, the difference between the second design and the third design, it's not that much. That's true. But again, remember, our goal with the third design is to reduce the expenses as much as possible. See, this is the truth. Expenses will always be there in your product. It will always be there. No matter how the policy performs, good or bad, insurance company is going to deduct the expenses. So we want to reduce the expense as much as possible. Now remember, we assume 6% growth every year. We don't know how the policy is going to perform. So to just inflate the expenses in your policy, assuming there will be growth that will take care of the expenses, is just not the right approach to IUL. I believe that let us reduce the expenses so that even if the market doesn't really perform well, you still have a best shot at allowing your policy to perform when the growth comes later on. This is the key to IUL design. All right, the next portion is an actual numbers, the expenses in the product. And I'm sure you're going to love this because most agents will not show you these numbers. That's the truth. So let's take a look at it. 3 designs here. Red design, remember, that's the worst. Then we have the yellow design and then the green design, which is really what you want if you are seriously considering getting an IUL policy. So first is the premium charge. Now, this money is based on how much money you are putting in the policy. Because we are putting the same money across all 3 designs, they are the same. So no problem here. Policy fee is sort of a documentation fee. Insurance company has to mail you stuff here and there. It covers that. It's $90 a year for this product. It's fixed throughout the life of your policy. So it's also going to be the same. The next expense is the per unit charge. Now, this is where we see the difference. Per unit charge is basically the insurance company recouping commissions they paid out, as well as any expenses they incurred to put the policy in force. So you see the difference here, huge. In this product, the insurance company recoups it for 15 years. So if you get the worst design, the traditional design, they're recouping $3,000 for 15 years. Compare it to just $479 for 15 years. So design really, really matters. You do not want to get this wrong. If you're seriously considering getting an IUL, you want to make sure you're working with somebody who will look out for your interest. Now, the next is the cost of insurance. Again, this is the average over the 25-year window. So you can see the best design has the lowest cost of insurance. Then we have the cash value in year one. We already saw these. Traditional design, no money in your policy. The best design has a lot more money upfront for you to borrow if you need it. And then the last is the commission. Also, we covered that. You can see the worst design has the most commission paid out. And agents, to be honest, agents are incentivized to design it worse so that they can make more money. Now, if you do not know, they can get around it. But if you are well educated, and I'm glad you are here trying to get it right, then you can pay the lowest in commissions as well. So you can see why there are a lot of information about IUL out there. Some people love it, some people hate it. It's all about what kind of design you get. If you get a properly designed IUL policy, it can be a valuable tool in your portfolio. But if it's not set up properly, it can just hurt you. If you're really seriously considering getting an IUL policy, I will really encourage you to reach out to me. And if you have any questions with this video, take a look at the form, send me the question, and I'm going to reach out with an answer to you as well. Also, feel free to book a meeting on my calendar here if you want to talk with me one-on-one on some specific case. Maybe you are not sure if IUL makes sense or not. But hey, thank you so much for spending the time with me. My goal was to be transparent around IUL because these are the sort of details that is missing out there. I appreciate your time with me. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.